Joining us right now is 14-time PGA Tour winner Paul Azinger. He has a brand new book out on his experience as the Ryder Cup captain back in 2008. It's called Cracking the Code, the Winning Ryder Cup Strategy. Make it work for you. Great pleasure to welcome Paul by telephone today. And Paul, thanks for being with us. How are you?
I'm great, Doug. How are you?
Great. Good to have a chance to talk to you in person. I have to say, living here in Sarasota, I've played the Sarasota City Championships a few times at Bobby Jones, and I see your name on the trophy every time. So it's always good to get a chance to talk to you. That was one of your first wins, I guess, wasn't it, as an amateur?
Yeah, that actually propelled me, big infusion of confidence back then, and made a big difference in how I felt about myself as a player. After a couple of years of college, I won the city, and then they had the best ball in the same year. Bonnie Graham was my partner.
It's a tough tournament. I know the winners in that tournament have gone on to try out for the U.S. Open, so I guess that's a nice thing to have a hometown trophy in your pocket as your first win, so that's pretty good.
That's right. Guys actually would come down from Tampa and play in it. I mean, it's a pretty good tournament. If anyone gets a chance to play in the city, they should do it.
What do you get now more, Paul? The shot you made to win out of the trap, or do you get more people talking to you about the Ryder Cup a couple of years ago?
It's all Ryder Cup now.
Yeah.
I tell you, I get more thank yous than congratulations. It was quite an experience. America had only won 3 times in 25 years and lost 5 of the last 6 matches, and we kind of needed it. We were fighting 2 wars at the time, and gas was $4 a gallon, a heated political campaign, and I guess for 3 days, golf fans and even non-golf fans tuned in. Some 600 million people watched as the Ryder Cup team beat Europe pretty soundly. It was close at times, even on Sunday, but the final result was good for us.
The Ryder Cup was one of those things, like we just saw with the Olympic hockey. Maybe people that don't follow golf the rest of the year watching the regular tour, that they get involved with this Ryder Cup, don't they?
Yeah, it's patriotism, the American flag. There's no money on the line. It's just us against them. And, there's a lot of passion that goes into this Ryder Cup. And America dominated it for a long time, but it's turned, when you've got 3 wins in 25 years. And, most of the time we were the favorites going into these Ryder Cups, especially when, Tiger and Phil are there. You would think we could handle them, but Europe puts 12 of their best against 12 of our best, and in that scenario, they've had the edge on us. And I took a different approach. We changed the way the team was picked, which I think made a big difference. I felt like the hottest Americans there, but I took an outside-the-box approach to team building by really just taking the 12 guys and fracturing them into 3 4-man teams and selling them on the idea that they would bond in their 4-man groups. It was kind of a Navy SEALs approach. I watched a documentary years ago, and I thought, man, if I'm ever the captain, maybe I'd break them into small groups. And I guess because we've been beaten so badly, it was something that the players actually were really engaged and embraced, and they bonded in their small groups. And the Ryder Cup story, Cracking the Code, the book tells the whole story, the inside scoop on how that all came about, and how I communicated with the players behind the scenes. I think anybody who likes golf will love the book. It's not a very long book. It's about an hour and a half to read it if you sat down and read the whole thing. And it'd probably make a good Father's Day gift, I believe. But it's a good story, and it's like being in the huddle of a football game. You're going to get to hear things and learn things that you would never ordinarily know. The guy who co-authored the book with me, Ron Braun, suggested we put them together by like personalities. Well, that was a whole other animal, and we figured out that, what we ended up doing was valuing relationships over assets. Instead of pairing like games together, we paired like personalities together. And the bottom line is it's all up to them to do to play and hit the shots. And as a captain, all you can do is create the best environment for them to be successful. And this Cracking the Code will kind of just show how we tried to create what we thought was the best environment for them. It has crossover appeal. There's business techniques here. We didn't invent the code, but maybe we did kind of crack a code there to team building for that particular event.
As you were going through that particular time during the Ryder Cup, were you kind of taking notes of maybe doing a book, or was this something after the fact? You said, well, let me write this down. This worked so well.
I was approached immediately afterwards about doing a book, and it was a long process. I decided that it was worth doing when I was no longer going to be a captain, and I just thought, it's a good story to tell. It took a while to get the story, written, but I micromanaged every word in this book, and if there's anything controversial in there, it was meant to be there. But the book is more of a relationship story about how these guys bonded, and it's not really a pat me on the back book, as it's just carrying you along and explaining kind of how this whole thing unfolded, and what stuff I was saying to players during the round, to encourage them or to challenge them and, kind of what happened in the team room type stories. It's a compelling read for someone who likes the game.
I'm sure you sent a copy to Corey Pavin, right?
He actually text messaged me a couple weeks ago requesting a copy of the book, and so I did send him one, and I don't know, I think he's reading it. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't asked me anything, and, it's one, you don't volunteer information, and he hasn't asked, and I haven't volunteered anything yet. But if he does, I suppose I would just say, hey, man, all you can really do is create the best environment for them and get the heck out of the way.
Well, it's a great idea for a book, and it applies not only to the sports world, but obviously to a lot of people out there in business, personalities in business. That's really what makes it either go or not go, isn't it? I mean, it's the people you work with.
In how you communicate with the folks that you're dealing with really allows you to either get the most out of them or not, and that was a big part of it, communicating with the players according to their personality. We personality profiled all the players, mainly just to figure out what their tendencies were and how they process information. It wasn't we weren't psychoanalyzing them. The book made the number 2 most purchased business books on Amazon, and it was the most purchased sports book. So I don't know where it stands now. That needle moves up and down, but it does have tremendous crossover appeal. I've had corporations buy hundreds in a slot just to give to their people. But it's not a how-to book. It just carries you along and tells you the story. Everybody that's read the book so far has really enjoyed it.
Well, Paul, before we wrap up, I got to ask you, as a golf analyst now on ESPN and ABC, I know you always prefer to play if you can, but do you enjoy the broadcasting end of it? And what's it like for you to be in the booth?
I enjoy the broadcast booth. I had a pretty nice gig there with ABC. Faldo and I were doing that together, and we knew the last year that we were doing it that ABC was no longer going to bid on golf, and that we were going to be out of a job. And so my last year doing it, I think I played 32 tournaments and ended up keeping my card, and it just kind of went away for me, and I never pursued the broadcast booth. I just stayed out on the golf course. Then I took the role as captain and ended up not really even playing that much. But I'm just going to do the British Open this year for ESPN, and that's going to be it. And maybe when the new TV contract comes about, there'll be a spot for me. I don't know. I haven't really lobbied for it or anything at this point. Don't know if I will, but I do like it when I'm in there, that's for sure.
Well, the name of the book is called Cracking the Code, the Winning Ryder Cup Strategy, Make It Work for You. We've been talking with Paul Azinger, also written with Ron Braun. And Paul, best way to get it, do you have a website you want to direct people to?
You can go to my website. It just got up and running the other day, paulazinger.com, and you can buy it through there if you would like. And it's pretty much wherever books are sold at this point. It's even in Brookstone stores at the airports. Brookstone actually has never purchased a book before, and they bought a whole bunch of them. So they're all Brookstone stores at airports, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, great.
But if you'd like to go online, you can go to paulazinger.com or amazon.com, sure enough.
Great. Paul, always great to have a chance to talk to you. Never done it in person, but I hope we'll do it again, and I appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for being with us.
Well, happy to do it, Doug. We'll talk anytime. Thanks.